All right. Hey. Come on in. MarshaunO here, your life and relationship strategist. And I help Christian women that are married or in long-term relationships to stop feeling disconnected and unloved and shift you to feeling heard, understood, and appreciated. Now, today we will be speaking about personal growth and how it actually is going to enhance your relationship. So while you're coming in the room, if you're not live with me today, then definitely go ahead and do the hashtag replay for me. Let me know that you did come and witness me speaking here today. I would totally love it. So what we're speaking about is how personal growth actually helps you in your relationship, how personal growth helps you in your relationship. Now, while you're coming in, please go ahead and tag your friend or share this broadcast with somebody that you know. Also, I just wanted to tell you, okay, coach, really? Love you, girl. Hey. So I just wanted to tell you again, whether you are coming live or here for the replay, I have to show you my newest baby behind me. Yes. So I finally got this book together. You guys helped me out by giving me your opinion. So 50 Reasons Why I Love the Black King in My Life. It is live on Amazon. As you see, the blue cover won. So I'm just super excited about that. So thank you for helping your girl out in getting my book up and running. And you know what? If you got a black king in your life and you need to speak words of affirmation to him in a form of something that he's able to keep long term, then go ahead and pick up my book. Okay, go ahead and pick up my book. So, personal growth and how it helps your romantic relationship. All right, thank you. Personal growth and how it helps your relationship. So, another book, because you guys, maybe you don't know, but I actually published a lot of books last year and I just don't broadcast all of them. However, I'm saying that because I'm also going to be reading from my first bestseller from Amazon, which is Reignite Your Relationship by 7X. Reignite Your Relationship by 7X. And I'm going to speak about personal growth, right? So I'm just going to read a couple paragraphs to you, and then we're going to talk about some ways personal growth actually helps it to enhance your romantic relationship. So continue to work on one's self is a sure way to be more sympathetic, empathetic, and understanding of yourself and your spouse. You will be able to express yourself much better, and you will also want to share these things with your spouse more effectively and with an open heart. If your spouse is not growing personally on his or her own, then they will not be able to understand you or where you are coming from. You will start to speak a foreign language to him or to her. If they're not open to personal development, you will start to sound strange to them, right? You'll start to sound like you're a part of a cult. You two will start to actually grow apart from one another. Some are even scared to grow for fear that their partner will either get upset or eventually leave them behind for an upgrade. Personal growth is not the adversary in your relationship. It's not. Again, it's a way to enhance. And so here are a few ways in which personal growth / personal development will help your relationship grow stronger, even if your spouse is not on board. Now, that's actually really important before I jump into the tips, because I get a lot of clients. I get a lot of people asking me, like when they're signing up for the coaching conversations, and then they'll come back and say, well, I got to cancel because my spouse is not on board. What they're not realizing, and if this is you, what you're not realizing is that personal growth is a personal thing, right? It's right in the title. It's personal. It's about you becoming the best version of yourself. Your spouse has to make the decision on his or her own. Personal growth is about you growing. It's about you becoming better. It's about you taking care of you. Yes, it's going to melt over. It's going to melt over into your romantic relationship. Your spouse is going to see you being different. They're going to hear you being different. But you have to stay the course if you want to get to the different results that you so want, that you so think about. right? So I always talk about creating the relationship that you want. One of the ways to create the relationship that you want is to develop yourself. Personal growth, personal development, they go hand in hand. Because one of the ways, which is, I have 4 points for you right here. One of the things that personal growth does to you for your relationship is that it helps you to become the leader, because you have to lead by example. See, whenever you're going the course, right? Whenever you're staying the course, you're becoming better. You're learning these new tools. You're actually bringing them into the relationship. You guys are sharing these things or not, right? Your spouse is going to start watching how you're moving now. Your spouse is going to start watching how you're showing up. Your spouse is going to start watching the things that you say, right? The things that you participate in. So maybe your thing that you need to work on, because this really is where the growth process is happening for you right now. So maybe the thing that you need to work on is holding your tongue, that sharp tongue that be cutting everything, right? So instead of you spewing out everything that comes to your mind to make sure that your spouse hears you, maybe you're like, you know what? I need to do better in this area. And now you have to make the decision to be better in that area by doing something different, by showing up differently, by, even if your spouse ticks you off, even if they get under your skin, you don't respond the same way. You actually allow them, him or her, to respond the way that they're going to respond. And then you, cool, calm, and collective, you still respond. But what you used to do was pop off at the mouth. What you used to do is argue back and forth. You don't have to do that, right? Because think about it. Whenever you're arguing back and forth, who's listening? No one is listening when you're arguing back and forth, right? So if you want to make an impact in your relationship, you have to be different. You have to show up different. You have to do something different in order to get different results, right? Because we all know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. You're never going to get different results if you don't make the decision to do something different. So we have to show up and do something different in order to get different results, right? The second way that personal growth helps to strengthen your relationship is that you will become more desirable due to you living life the way that you want to live it. So instead of creating the fantasy just up here and it staying stuck up here, now you're actually taking it from out of here and now you're bringing it to life, right? So you used to think, man, I wish I would stop popping off at the mouth so quickly. So now you're taking it from a thought and now it's coming through you and you're showing up differently. And you have to remember, you're probably going to mess up sometimes. Like, man, I didn't do that right. You're probably going to mess up sometimes because this is a new habit that's becoming a new behavior, right? So you're going to revert back. You're going to go backwards sometimes, but as long as you're catching yourself because you're realizing what you're doing, now you have a chance to go back and say, I'm sorry, right? And then do better next time. Because this is what the process, this is the journey, this is what it's all about. You are in the process of becoming your most authentic self. You're in the process, right? So it's not like you learn the tools and then I got it. Some people, it works like that. But for the majority of us, it doesn't work like that. You got the tools and now, okay, I did it good that time. Bam. Do a little dance, celebrate a little bit, right? Next time, you might mess up. The next time, you might mess up, but then you catch yourself. Apologize right then and there, right? And then the fourth time, maybe you get it right again. So you're going to go back and forth. But the point is, as long as you're constantly moving forward, then your relationship will be better. The growth, the personal development that you're doing with yourself will translate into you, like I said, being the leader, but then also you becoming more desirable, right? Being more desirable is when your partner wants to hang around you a lot more. Being more desirable is when before you started working on yourself, you didn't even like being in the same room. But now you guys are in the same room. Not only are you in the same room, you're able to have a tiny bit of conversation, right? So again, it's a growth process. It's a growth process that you are taking yourself through. And because you are becoming the leader in this area, your spouse is watching you. And guess what? Before you know it, some of the things that you do, some of the things that you say will rub off on your spouse. And this is how you know that they're listening, because this actually happens in my own marriage, Because sometimes my husband be acting like he not listening to me. He not paying me no attention. And then he'll tell me all the time, don't coach me. And I did the air quotes because he'd be like, don't coach me, right? Don't coach me. Okay, hubby. But here's the thing. He's listening to what I'm saying, because some of the things that I say, some of the things that I do, all of a sudden he doing it and saying it to me, back to me. Like when I'm messing up, he's saying the stuff that I was saying to him back to me. So he coaching me like, bruh, back up off me. Back up off me. So it is going to work. You have to stay the course. You have to stay the course, sis. Bruh, you got to stay the course. You do. The third way that personal growth is going to help to strengthen and grow your relationship is that you will be a much better communicator with your spouse. Much better communicator. Because now some of the things that you're reading, right? Some of the things that you're listening to is going to start rubbing off on yourself, right? And you're going to start to internalize that stuff. And because you're internalizing that stuff, the more you hear things, the more your belief system increases about the thing that you're constantly taking in, right? So because you're believing it more, you're already seeing some results from the things that you're previously doing, that you've previously taken into your relationship. And now you're like, wait a minute. Okay, this is good right here. You'll be able to communicate a lot better. You'll be a better active listener, right? You'll be able to articulate the things that you want to say much better, much more concise. Instead of having to go all around the town and back, you'll be able to communicate it that much more concisely, for sure. The fourth and final way that personal growth helps to strengthen your relationship is that this helps you to become more self-aware of your actions and how they affect you as well as your spouse. So as I mentioned before, you might have been the person that just pops off. You just say whatever, whenever, however, because that's what you want to say. That's when you want to say it. That's how you want to say it. And that's how you always have done it, right? But now you're realizing, wait a minute, that book say that I shouldn't be doing it that way, because this is not the most effective way to get my spouse to actually hear what I'm trying to say. So I probably need to stop popping off. I probably need to calm down and allow him to say the things that he needs to say. Let him get out the things that he's feeling, right? Let me try to dig a little deeper. Let me ask a bit more questions. Let me get down to the why, the real reason why we are actually arguing. Let me do some self-reflection. Let me ask myself, why did that get under my skin the way that it did? Why do I always feel like I need to pop off and assert myself and let him know that he can't do or say what he wants to do or say to me any kind of way? Like, calm down. If you want to be heard, you actually should speak a lot softer. Still getting your point across, but speak a lot softer. Because you know why? Because people are going to lean in, because now they need to hear. They need to lean in to hear what you have to say. You want to be heard? Lower your voice. Speak calmly. Speak direct. But all of that yelling, screaming, cussing, fussing is just you crying out for help. It's you crying out to say, please hear me. It's you crying out to say, please just listen. So instead of doing that, by changing the way that you're showing up, now you're starting to become heard. You're becoming and acting as if you are the leader in this area. You are becoming more desirable in your relationship and in your marriage. And as I mentioned before, your spouse is absolutely going to hear you, even if they act like they don't in that moment. You become more aware, they become more aware. Hence, you guys are growing together. Somebody has to start the process. Somebody has to become the adult in the relationship and act as if what you're doing will make a difference. Believe that it will, because it will. It will. You just have to believe it. Believe it, receive it, say it out there out loud, pray about it. And you know what? It's going to happen. It's going to come true. Continue to stay the course in working on yourself. That is the beauty of how we get to these relationships that we really want to be a part of. Because what we're really trying to do is get from good relationships to great relationships, and from great relationships to extraordinary relationships, so we can be a part of the top 1% of couples that have extraordinary relationships. So now people can come to you and say, wait a minute, your relationship wasn't like that. Like, your relationship looks awesome. Like, how do I do what you've done? Because I remember your relationship wasn't like it is today. And today, y'all look like y'all on point. How did you do that? You'll be able to answer that question. You'll be able to pass along some knowledge that you've done for yourself. So now, before we go, I actually put a link up above the video. And the link is for you to take a hold of your free gift, which is a link to my relationship resource library. And that is to give you some more tools for you to be able to go to your relationship tool box, pull them out, use them when you need them. So click on the link, get your relationship resource library today. I love you guys. There is nothing that you can do about it, and I will see you next week. Bye.